My name is Tom Lucania. I'm the Deputy Chief of Staff. To my right is Persephone Tan, our Director of Operations, Betty McCray, our Director of Capital Projects, and Kira Gannon, Director of Community Works. Pursuant to Chapter 4, Section 85 of the New York City Charter, a meeting of the Bronx Borough Board will take place on Monday, March 23rd, starting at 10:15 a.m. It will be held here at 851 Grand Concourse in room 405A. We have two items on the agenda today. The first item being, we're going to switch since we are waiting for one or two more members. Rebuild together. I'm sorry, I don't have my agenda. Rebuild together, and there will be a presentation regarding funding opportunities for homeowners. Valerie Payne, the executive director, as well as members of the team, will make that presentation. And then we have Betty McCray and the mayor's preliminary budget priorities report for fiscal year 2027, and that is where the vote is required. So first, if I would ask the team from Rebuilding Together to come up.
Sure.
On this side, probably the easiest.
Why don't you?
Thank you and welcome, Valerie.
Right. Good morning, everybody.
Thank you so much for having us this morning. I was thrilled to get this invitation from Persephone and Tom and the Borough President's team, so thank you so much for having us. I'm the Executive Director of Rebuilding Together NYC, and I'll first introduce my team. Jose Morales, who coordinates many things and helps us with our build days. Nicosa Barrett, who's the Director of our Careers in Construction program, and Julia Murphy, who leads our Housing Preservation program. And we're going to tell you about the whole organization and then spend a little extra time on the Housing Preservation program in particular, because we have a unique opportunity for Bronx homeowners that we are trying to spread the word about. So the mission of Rebuilding Together NYC is to repair homes, rebuild lives, and revitalize communities. We are 28 years old in New York City. We serve all 5 boroughs. We started, the organization really grew after Hurricane Sandy in 2012, and because our office is located in Brooklyn, we became really well known in Queens and Brooklyn and Staten Island because we did some recovery work post-Hurricane Sandy. Since then, we've started our housing preservation program in all 5 boroughs, as I mentioned, and have been trying to spend a little bit more time in the Bronx. But before we go into all of the program detail, I want to share with you, we've done 44 home repair projects to date in the Bronx from 22 to 25. We've served 56 students in our Careers in Construction program, and we've held 6 build days, and we're going to tell you a little bit more about each now, starting with Careers in Construction. Nicosa.
I'm up first, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nicosa Barrett. I am, by trade, I'm a union plumber, but I am currently the Director of Careers in Construction. Careers in Construction is a 6-week direct entry pre-apprenticeship program. And we have direct entry to Local 3 electricians, 580 iron workers, DC9, which is the finishing trades, the painters and tapers, and Local 79 laborers. The 6-week program, I like to say what we're doing is we're putting people on the path to the middle class. I'm not sure if you guys know how hard it is to get into the union building trades, but we kind of give a path, a different path to get into those careers. So it's a 6-week program, and during that 6 weeks, students are introduced to the building trades, to the union, why it's better than the union. We give industry certifications such as OSHA 30, their SST, their scaffolding, and their flaggers. We also do site visits, and those site visits are to the union training centers so that the students can get a better idea of what the job entails. So we're going to Local 3 electricians, we're going to active construction sites, just to give them insight into the industry. What am I missing? We have served, she said, 56 students from the Bronx. I myself, I went to a program just like this. And as a woman, it's not easy to get into the trades. As we serve unemployed, underemployed Bronxites, Manhattan, Harlem, just trying to give people that path, an easier path to lift themselves up out of poverty. Am I missing anything? These are some of my students here. Selassie he's very young. I think he was about 18 years old. He came to us from Co-op Tech, and he recently took the Local 3 electricians test, and he got in. He passed the test, and he will be starting with Local 3 electricians in September. Vinny came to us wanting to be an iron worker, and he got into the iron workers. He went on the interview, they loved him, and he's now an iron worker. And that's the same stories here, electrician, she wants to be a painter, he wants to be an electrician, and we give them the tools to be those things. A lot of people come into our program not knowing about these opportunities, and we open these doors for them. That's her, and that's Giselle. Giselle is a DC9 painter. Please excuse up there.
This is actually a video, but I might not play.
But she came to us, she didn't even know she wanted to be a painter. And she came to us, and after going through the program and going through site visits, she realized that she wanted to be a painter. And she's now a DC9 painter. And there are many more stories like that.
Yeah, great. She's in her third year apprentice. She's a third-year apprentice, and last year she won the Apprentice of the Year award for DC9, which is a big honor. It's a big union. All right, and now we'll talk a little bit about our community revitalization efforts, although everything that we do, I think, helps contribute to strengthening communities in New York City. This specific effort brings together corporations into kind of community neighborhoods to do a little bit of work, and I'll let Jose talk a little bit about that.
Good morning. Thank you all for the opportunity to be here with you today. I'll be doing a brief overview of Rebuilding Together NYC's community revitalization work. Typically, this work comes in the form of 3 to 4 build days annually, where we can complete a variety of projects. Some examples include refurbishing garden beds in community gardens to grow local produce, or construct bookshelves at a community center. These build days are made possible through the generous support of our sponsors that donate for building supplies to be purchased, as well as bring on volunteers. In recent years, we have partnered with NYCHA to identify campuses that would benefit from our services across the 5 boroughs. Most recently, this past November, I had the pleasure of helping organize my first build day at the organization at Grant Houses in Harlem. That's a picture right there of us, of the group. It was a great day with all the volunteers to build and refurbish garden beds alongside community members. And it's just a great opportunity for us to get out there into the communities and do some great work. And so now I'll turn it over to talk more about the Housing Preservation Program.
And in the Bronx, we've done 6 build days, and I just want to list where we did them: at Millbrook Houses, Claremont Consolidate, Mott Haven Houses, Butler Houses, and Forest Houses with Sebnick. And at Forest Houses in Mott Haven were our largest career days, where we had about 250 volunteers building garden beds. So we created a community garden, both at Mott Haven and Forest Houses, of 16 beds for the residents to grow local produce. So that's just a way that we can give back, which is kind of special, I think. Now, housing preservation. So we have very large contracts to provide critical home repair and accessibility modifications to income-eligible New Yorkers in all 5 boroughs. All of our contracts but one are for all 5 boroughs. Our largest contract is to serve the Bronx. And we do literally critical home repair, and there is no fee associated with this. It is completely free to homeowners. So the agenda said there's a grant funding opportunity. We have the grant, we have the funding, it's free to the homeowner. And we do stuff that includes roofing, plumbing or electrical work, flooring, windows, We make bathrooms accessible, so we take out a bathtub and put in a walk-in shower, for example. We also install wheelchair ramps and lifts, stair glides, and grab bars. And this is a short list. There are more eligibility requirements, but these are the primary ones. Folks can not have an income greater than 80% of the area median income. Applicants must own and live in their home. We can work in small buildings up to 4 units, provided one of those units is occupied by the owner. Co-ops and condos are eligible, and we have done a few of those. And the last kind of big one is that the homeowner cannot have assets outside of the home that exceed $15,000. We have started 2 years ago to focus on about half of the Bronx zip codes. So the Targeted Home Improvement Program is the name of the contract. This is the flyer that we kind of handed out, and we have more to share. And residents who live in these zip codes are eligible. And just to tell you a little bit, just to back up a little bit, this is funding from New York State's Department of Home and Community Renewal. And they chose zip codes all over the state to fund. And these are the only zip codes in New York City. So they decided to focus on the Bronx for this contract. We have up to $5 million to spend on these homes. We spend an average of $50,000 in each home, so a little bit more or less. And the homeowners' incomes for usually a family of 2 are about $40,000 a year. So we are serving technically extremely low-income folks. So this is an amazing opportunity to preserve housing in New York City, to help families maintain an asset, to pass on to future generations, and to make sure that older adults have a safe and healthy place to live. Knowing right now we have such a huge affordability, let alone general housing crisis. There's not enough housing for seniors, as we all know. So this is also super important and an amazing resource to keep folks housed, basically. So I'm going to let, this is an example of a home that we did in the Bronx for the Hakim family. They're younger, I think they were a family of 5 with 3 children. We did their roof and the siding on their home. And then I don't know if we can play this video, but this is, I was telling my new friend Raphael, who helped me find the room, that this is a homeowner whose home we did in Hunts Point last January, almost a year and a half ago, that needed a lot of repair. It was just inhabitable, but we made it habitable so that her mother could move back home and live in the home. And I'm going to let Julia talk a little bit more about the THIP program and like how people can apply and learn more information.
Hi everyone, I'm Julia Murphy. I am the program manager for housing preservation. So this funding opportunity, as Valerie noted, is a large one. And as opposed to our other funding, this is the one grant where we actually have more funding than applicants. We actually do have applicants, but one issue we see is that people apply and then they become unresponsive and don't submit their full application. So to be qualified, they have to submit an initial application through our website, though we can also provide them with a hard copy or like PDF version if they, might have issues with internet access, things like that. But they also have to provide us with documents to back up their information about their income, making sure they have homeowners insurance, information about their assets, that sort of thing. So we basically, one of the big reasons we wanted to come here today was to talk about this program and see if you all might be able to, tell people in your districts about the opportunity and make sure they know it's here, and connect us so that they can know that this is an opportunity available to them, that is coming through the state. So it's a great opportunity, and we're here to answer any questions and help people through the process. And then once they are qualified, we come out and have contractors bid on the project, and then they will, do these repairs over the course of a couple months usually. So happy to answer questions, but I think that covers it.
Yeah, and to the extent that, I know your teams are really small, we're actually connecting with Nos Quedemos and Habitat for Humanity, who have better name recognition than Rebuilding Together NYC in the Bronx, to see if they can help homeowners complete their applications and to just, give us some legitimacy. I think people haven't heard of Rebuilding Together NYC, so we're asking a lot of them, as required by the state, as required by our funding, in order to determine their eligibility and accept them into the program. But so we need a little bit of help around, just kind of building our brand awareness technically and our legitimacy. This is a real opportunity. We're not going to leave them high and dry. We have about 6 small general contractors that we've been working with for a decade that do this work. They understand the sensitivity of going into an older adult's home and how vulnerable that might make people feel and uncomfortable, and they're very good at handling kind of those like homeowner interactions, and they have teams that can do the same. So this is new to kind of these particular zip codes, although all zip codes are eligible for this particular program. It's just these zip codes. So does anybody have any questions?
Are there any questions? Raphael?
Great presentation, thank you. Let's say you have a homeowner that qualifies, but they're having issues like with their mortgage. Would you be able to assist them with that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So in that case, unfortunately, the state has said sort of, if somebody's at risk of foreclosure, they don't want to invest the money if the family is then going to lose the home. That being said, if they're a little bit behind, then we can work with them on that. We also, are working on strengthening these, but do have partnerships and sort of connections with other organizations that have housing counselors who can also help them. So we make a lot of referrals to make sure people can then become eligible. And then one thing we also are working on is, like, for example, if somebody has a 2 or 3 unit home, where getting those second or third units updated so that someone can move in and they can generate income so that they can catch up on their mortgage, that's something we can work with them on to make sure that they can still get these services and not lose the home. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you for the question.
Chairman?
Thank you. I'm City Guzman, Chairman of Bronx Borough Board 5. Want to ask, how about if a homeowner has violations and need immediate repairs? Would they still be eligible even if they do have the qualifications needed for these repairs or grants?
Meaning like a DOB violation?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can usually work with them on that to help correct it. Yeah. Yes is the short answer.
Etta?
Yes. Good morning, great presentation. Hello, good morning, my name is Etta Reddy, Manager of Ward 3. I just want to be clear about something. So you mentioned that a household of 4, that they couldn't have more than $15,000 in the bank. So is that just for that particular household composition, or does it change if you have a household of 6?
It's the same regardless of household size, but that's actually only true of AHC, which is not this Bronx-specific funding. The Bronx-specific funding is there's a little bit more wiggle room as far as what your assets can be. So, yeah, that's one
Okay, thank you.
minor correction. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Sir?
Thank you. So we spoke a little bit about issues with mortgages. I want to get more specific and ask if there's a lien on the property. Can you guys work on that? You can?
I'd have to know more specifics of what it was, but definitely if they have a mortgage or things like that, that's totally fine. I should also add that the program, in order to sort of back up their investment, the state, there is a like lien or mortgage, or there's different words used for it, but it's not, a typical mortgage where you have to pay anything. It's just that if you sell the home within 10 years of the work being done, you do have to pay the state back, but it would come out of the value of sale. So if there is no funds left over, then the state will usually just forego the funds. And it also does diminish by 10% every year. So, if it was 5 years in that they had to sell the house for some reason, they would only owe 50% of what was invested.
And one last thing, you said you had 6 contractors working on this every build day, and you have 3 to 4 build days a year. So what output can you have in terms of like handling those projects per year? Just asking for referring folks to you.
Yeah, so there's 2 different initiatives. The build days, we're generally building community gardens lately on NYCHA properties. That's with volunteers, from kind of midtown offices, basically, that want to do a community service or a team building day. So that's separate from the housing preservation. And as Jose mentioned, we do, this year we're doing 3. We're doing a spring, a very big summer one, and one in the fall. The home repair is separate. Those goals are separate, but I think we want to do it like 25 home repair projects or so in the Bronx this year would be ideal. And yeah.
No, I was just going to say thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Are there any other, any other questions?
Thank you.
Did you want to try the? No.
Okay, we just started chatting a little bit about, this is a video, News 12 did, you guys might have seen it, a Building the Bronx focused kind of feature once a week last year, or Rebuilding the Bronx, I think is what they called it. So they featured some of our projects in the Bronx. Oh, I forgot Thrive for Life. We did a build day at Thrive for Life too, across some Mott Haven houses, which they did a piece on. But this is, so we'll send this out so you can click on the link and see the homeowner whose home we did in Hunts Point.
Thank you. We will share all of the information you saw here with you this afternoon. We'll also specifically be sure that the flyer is included, because that's something that you can easily share on your social media and with your organizations and with your housing committees to pursue with the organization. So if there are no other questions, thank you all very much.
Yeah, thank
We
you.
appreciate
Thanks so
you
much for
being
having
here
us.
today. Okay, now we will move to the fiscal year 27 budget priorities report. I'll turn it over to Betty McRae. It was sent to all of you late last week. Hopefully you had the opportunity to review it. Any of the information or comments that were shared with us, and Betty will make a comment on that, will be included in that report. Betty?
Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you guys for coming out in this weather. We appreciate you so much. I'm going to start by saying this. On February 17, 2026, the mayor released his budget, which was approximately $127 billion for the preliminary budget for fiscal year 2027. We are monitoring the potential impact that it has on our borough. In accordance with the charter mandates, we held our public hearing on February 23rd, 2026. Our office has been diligently working on the budget priorities report. The report includes not only the testimonies from the public hearing, but also your top 10 capital projects that you had and the top 5 expense that was submitted to as part of your request in that registration report that you have to submit every year to OMB and to the mayor's office. So that's where we got that information from. Just in case you was wondering, we picked it right up from there and added to that. So as you are aware, the administration identified a $12 billion inherited budget deficit, partly due to the prior underfunding of essential areas. Through a combination of city savings, use of revenues, use of reserves, increased revenues, and additional $1.5 billion in state support, the city managed to reduce the projected deficit to $5.4 billion. To close the remaining budget gap, one of the mayor's proposal is a 9.5% increase in property tax, which we all are not in agreement with. So hopefully when we get the next version in the executive budget, that will look significantly different. That's what we're hoping for. Everybody's hopeful for that one. The plan, we have a savings plan, and that plan targets $1.2 billion in savings over 2 years to address some of the anticipated $5.4 billion shortfall. In January, the mayor created chief savings officer position in each city agencies to identify savings by eliminating redundancy, ending programs, bringing some of the functions back in-house. They aim at a savings of 1.5% in fiscal year 2026 and 2.5% in fiscal year 2027. And just to highlight a couple of things that was included into the budget for fiscal year 2027, some of the programs, savings for children, families, and communities. We had a $70 million for preschool, special education, evaluation services, and staffing. $106.2 billion for public school programs, $19.6 million for DYCD summarizing, and almost $54 million for the Community Food Connections, which provides fundings for more than 700 community kitchens and food pantries citywide. Some of the add-ons and some of the things that was restored in the fiscal year 2027 preliminary budget was $1.1 million baseline for child care programs, $542.9 million in fiscal year 2027, and $942 million in the out years to support class reduction size. Some of the stuff that was failed to was our $9.8 billion for our PEP for fiscal year 2026. We always like those parks enforcement, so we're hoping that be restored in the executive budget when it comes out. And also $6.2 million for the parks maintenance workers. That was also failed in the budget. So hopefully the city is allocating additional $11.9 million in fiscal year 2027 and baseline $11.8 million in fiscal year 2028 for new outreach teams managed by the public health system, hospital system, known as the Street Health Outreach and Wellness Show. And that funding will be used to establish new locations to the Bridge to Home programs. The city is also tripling the baseline funding for the Community Food Connection, an emergency program for food throughout Human Resources Administration. In fiscal 2027 budget, the funding will reach almost $54 million, as I previously stated. And we also had $100 million for the storm removal for sanitation. That was also included in the fiscal year budget, but that was included in January and February of this fiscal year, which is 2026 that we are. And one of the things that they're also increasing, and which is good, I think, for the city, is another $3.4 billion will go to New York City Health and Hospitals, including $48 million to renovate the Bellevue Hospital Adult Comprehensive Psychiatric Emergency Program. And finally, what I want to say is this. The mayor should include to fund programs that strengthen families, communities such as mental health clinics, behavioral health services, homeless prevention, rental assistance, and affordable child care. The city must prioritize the health and safety of NYCHA residents by working with the state and the city government to improve the current building infrastructure and public health issues. As New Yorkers look forward to the future, we expect the mayor to prioritize the well-being of all families and community. Essential investments will lead to a better future for everyone in our city. Thank you. And we received one request from council member in District 8, who's requesting that the borough president adds information on the waterfront and also investment in immigration. We have the whole email there, so we're going to add that as part of the priorities, part of the capital priorities that's also listed in our budget report. That's all I have for this morning.
Any questions?
Any questions? I'm sorry. Or if you have any additional comments, any additional things that you may want to add to the report, yes.
How you doing? Tariq is our Chief of Staff, Councilmember Stevens. With the additional recommendations, is that going to be submitted first before we cast a vote? Like, is that something we're going to be able to see, and does it have any dollar amount associated to investment into the waterfront?
We don't have
anything
any
like that?
dollar amount associated with it. It's just, she just wants that to be added as part of the budget report as a priority that she would like to see the borough president, I guess, speak on behalf or advocate for. Is the right word I'm using.
Okay.
Excuse me. Are there any other additions, questions, comments on the report itself? Okay, seeing none, then we do need to have a vote on this. And I also first need a motion to accept.
Do I have a motion to accept?
Community Board 8, Ms. Reyes, is there a second? Second by Ms. Cruz from Community Board number 2. I'll then do the roll call on this. Community Board 2?
Yes.
Community Board 3?
Is this yes or present?
This is yes.
Yes.
I did the present on my own. Community Board 5?
Yes.
Community Board 8?
Yes.
Community Board 12?
Yes.
Councilmember Encarnacion? Councilmember Riley? Councilmember Feliz?
Yes.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Farias?
Did you receive council's role in the budget process? Councilmember Farias will abstain.
Did I miss anybody? No, I don't. Okay. And the borough president votes yes as well. Okay. Thank you all very much. Are there any announcements from any of the community boards or elected officials? Sure.
I just wanted to say, we are already currently in the process of vetting some of the capital budget applications that we received this fiscal year. So we're in that process, so if you get any questions or answers, you just let them know that the board president is currently in the process of vetting that and speaking also with the council members on how we can partner with projects, so that way we can spread the money throughout the entire borough so everyone can have their fair share of what we can do. So we'll be meeting with some of the additional council members. We received a lot of requests this year. We received over 555 requests, over $845 million worth of requests. So we have to dwindle that down to what we received for this fiscal year. So we're working on it. Thank you.
For the council members, we have been in touch with your offices to schedule the meeting with the borough president or ourselves in order to review the listing of projects that we've received that are in your districts. We've shared that document with each of your offices, and once we have the opportunity to meet, we will go through them each project by project and determine if we can partner, as Betty said, to fund as many of those projects as possible. Announcement from the Borough President's Office. Our first one is a continuation of our Bronx Fire Safety and Education workshops throughout the borough. Beginning today, there's one up in Board 12 in Nereid, 172nd Street, Shop Leon Older Adult Center, 152nd, and tomorrow at the Shop Soundview Social Club on Seaward Avenue. Oh, and then there are a whole bunch of others. Again, you will receive all of these in an email so you can share. On Monday, March 30th, is the Trans Day of Visibility. That's being sponsored by the Borough President and our LGBTQIA+ Task Force and Destination Tomorrow. And that's being held on Monday, March 30th, beginning at noon at Hostos Community College. Borough President's Irish Heritage Month celebration is being held this Wednesday at 6 p.m. at Rambling House in Community Board number 12. Sorry. Our Greek Heritage Month celebration will be held on Thursday, April 16th at St. Peter the Apostle Greek Orthodox Church. Save the date is the Bronx Week Parade and Festival, Sunday, May 17th, beginning at 10 a.m., and you'll get some more information on this event as well. The Borough President's prom dress and suit giveaway will be held here at Borough Hall on Friday, May 8th, beginning at 5 p.m. First come, first serve. There will be suits for young men, dresses for the ladies, and there are shoes and jewelry and other items that are usually part of what we're able to distribute as well. Our Diva Spa, this is way in advance, Tuesday, October 14th at 11 a.m. here at Borough Hall, and we have a bunch of sponsors for this event as well. Again, October. Hispanic Heritage, I didn't think we were going this far. Hispanic Heritage celebration will be on Thursday, October 16th, and that will also be held here at Borough Hall.
That's it, John.
That's it? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Gio. Any other questions, comments? The next Borough Service Cabinet meeting will be next Wednesday, April 1st, beginning at 10 a.m., and that is being held virtually. And the next Borough Board meeting is on Monday, April the 13th, 10 a.m. here in room 405A. If there's nothing else, we thank you all for being here, and this meeting is adjourned.
Likewise.
Thank you.